Hello and welcome back to How About That Crypto, your home for crypto and Web3 news and updates with your host, Bitcoin Stylist. In today's news and updates, we will give you the latest on the ongoing crypto drama and hear about major things happening that you don't want to miss. We have Gemini and DCG owners are going at it online. The DoJ calls crypto commodities, and Valkyrie Investments wants to take over Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, or GBTC. And I'll give you an update on the ongoing crypto crash and drama, SBF, FTX, Celsius, Voyager, and Blockfi. What does all this mean? Not to worry, I'll explain it all. But first, like, subscribe, follow, and comment. And again, please comment, leave a comment below. It really helps support me and it ensures that other people get to see this. Share the video. It helps spread the word about crypto, and I really appreciate it. Don't forget, this is not financial advice. You can use the links below to do your own research. All right, well, I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas, Hanukkah, and New Year. I have some interesting news and some updates for y'all. So let's jump right in. I'm going to share my screen. If you're listening on podcasts, you can use the links below and follow along or just listen up. All right, so I got an article here. It's author Bessie Liu, writes for Blockworks. Right there. Gemini takes spat with DCG public in open letter. Cameron Winklevoss has given Barry Silbert until January 8th to commit to publicly working together. This story is about Cameron Winklevoss, a co-founder of Gemini. Gemini is a cryptocurrency exchange, but they also had a yield-generating portion on their platform called Earn. Anyone with money in Earn has had their money frozen. This is because they send the money to Genesis for them to facilitate loans and pay the yield. Genesis Trading is a subsidiary of Digital Currency Group, otherwise known as DCG. DCG is the largest holder of crypto and crypto companies outside of any exchange. This is a very big deal. Check out my episode regarding them, DCG and Genesis, to understand why they are so important. I'll leave a link in the description below. Okay, so Gemini is trying to get their customers' money back from Genesis. Check this out. I'm going to read a couple of things here. Let me just find out. Let me scroll down here. Okay, here you go. So this is Winklevoss. This is like the Gemini co-founder. You can continue to refuse to get into a room with us to hash out a resolution. You hide behind lawyers, investment bankers, and process. Your behavior is not only completely unacceptable, it is unconscionable. So basically, the Winklevoss brothers, this one's Cameron, they co-founded Gemini crypto exchange. They have something like 300,000 people that are still waiting for their money. Excuse me. I'm going to keep going. Genesis is owed $1.675 billion by DCG, according to Winklevoss, who claims that Silbert is the CEO of Digital Currency Group, who claims that Silbert has been using the money to fuel greedy share buybacks, illiquid venture investments, and kamikaze grayscale NAV trades, which is net asset value trades, that balloon the fee-generating assets under management of your trust. He's basically saying that you basically use the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust as an ATM. You manipulate it, and you made as much money off as you can now. And now that you're not making that much money, and you ran into a wall, you owe us money, and you're not even communicating with us. Silbert has denied these claims, and he tweeted that DCG did not borrow $1.675 billion from Genesis, and has never missed an interest payment to Genesis, and is current on all loans outstanding. He further claimed that DCG offered a proposal to Gemini on December 29th and had yet to receive a response. So basically, this is reminding me of when CZ and FTX were kind of going at it a little bit. I also am reminded of when Sam Bankman-Fried was telling everybody that, oh, it's not me, that's not me, that's not me, that's Alameda. Well, this Barry Silber's guy is like, oh, that's not me, that's me, I'm DCG, that's not Genesis, except for they own Genesis. And I think that's, pretty messed up. And so, yeah, it says they gave them a week to commit to publicly working together to solve this problem. But guess what? On like the way here, I just saw, let's see. I just saw another article about this. Here we go. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna pull this article up here for you. Okay, so this is an article by Adam James. It says Gemini users file class action requests against Genesis and DCG. It says 3 Gemini Earn users have filed a request for class action arbitration against Genesis Global Capital and Digital Currency Group. They allege, among other things, that Genesis worked with its parent company to hide its insolvency. And they go on to explain what they're trying to argue here. Apparently, there's like a master agreement between Gemini and Genesis that they're supposed to be able to pay back within 5 days or something like that. And it's been over a month since they canceled, and they haven't heard anything back from them. And they're also saying that they broke their master agreement with Genesis because they've just failed to disclose and try to conceal the insolvency because Genesis has lost so much money to 3 Arrows Capital and on FTX. So that's the word. You know, I'm really focusing on on Grayscale Bitcoin Trust and DCG because if they go, we're the whole crypto. I mean, that could be really bad for crypto. Okay, so and check out the link in below to understand why. Let me know your thoughts on this. I'm gonna keep moving on. Author Jake Simmons writes for Bitcoinist. Big news for Ripple. U.S. Department of Justice calls crypto commodities. So the DoJ is filing a lawsuit. Let me read a couple paragraphs. As the legal battle between Ripple Labs and the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission draws to a close, and all eyes are on Judge Annalisa Torres, the U.S. Department of Justice may have provided another argument for Brad Garlinghouse and his company. Brad Garlinghouse is the CEO of Ripple Labs. In recent court filings by the U.S. Department of Justice against Abraham Eisenberg, the DOJ refers to 2 cryptocurrencies as commodities. Eisenberg, who exploited the decentralized finance platform Mango Markets, made $67 million, was arrested yesterday in Puerto Rico and charged with market manipulation. So let me just keep going. I'm going to keep reading a couple of things here. Let's see, where is it? Okay, so for Ripple, the DOJ may have provided another argument that the legal situation for cryptocurrencies is not as clear as the SEC always claims. So if you remember, I covered this extensively. Ripple Labs has been going on against the SEC in a lawsuit for 2 years, and they're arguing over whether or not Ripple was a security when it was sold. So the question is going to be, how do they determine what a security is? And the SEC is like, it's clear. This is a security for this reason. It's like they keep repeating themselves and want you to like agree with them, but it's not working. And now the DOJ is now filing a lawsuit and just calling cryptocurrencies commodities. Remarkably, these documents were filed by the U.S. Department of Justice in the Southern District of New York, the same court where the case between Ripple and SEC has taken place. Gabriel Shapiro, general counsel at Delphi Labs, commented that the fact that the case does not classify the relevant tokens as security is in no way positive. According to Shapiro, the classification is simply a result of litigation strategy. The fewer predicate issues the government has to litigate in its case, the better. So basically what they're trying to say is that just because the DOJ is calling cryptocurrencies commodities doesn't necessarily mean anything for future court cases. I will say this, though. It goes on. There's another attorney that goes on to say maybe that's because they believe it's easier to prove it's a commodity, which infers that the commodity theory makes the most sense from a practical standpoint. Also, keep in mind, this is the DOJ choosing to use commodities and not the CFTC. So I guess they're saying it'd be more valuable if it was the CFTC or the SEC that was calling these things commodities. And I guess they're trying to say that the DOJ doesn't necessarily have any jurisdiction over this. Nonetheless, it's in court documents as a commodity. So let's see if that has an impact on any court cases. Do you think it will, or do you think this is just a way for the government to not have to make this fight so they can go after the fraud and the market manipulation. Let me know, leave a comment below, and I am moving on. Author Helen Braun writes for CoinDesk, but this is posted on Yahoo Finance, titled Crypto Asset Manager Valkyrie Investments wants to sponsor, manage Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. Remember, the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust has 674,000 Bitcoin. And if it is forced to liquidate, then that's going to be a lot of Bitcoin being sold. So Valkyrie is stepping in saying, yo, why don't you stop managing it? Because you suck at managing it, digital currency group. You suck, right? So because you obviously suck because you got companies that are teetering that are potentially forcing the liquidation of this trust, which is generating hundreds of millions of dollars a year. No one really knows what exactly going to happen. It could be all pure speculation. But just remember, this could be like the a nail in the coffin. I mean, I'm not saying it'll kill crypto, but it could. You heard it here. Okay, let's read a little bit. Crypto asset manager Valkyrie Investments wants to become the sponsor and manager of the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. Valkyrie's plan would be a tall order because considering the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust has over 10 billion in assets and Valkyrie only handles about 180 million total assets. We understand that Grayscale has played an important role in the development and growth of the Bitcoin ecosystem with the launch of Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, and we respect the team and the work that they have done, Valkyrie said. However, in light of recent events involving Grayscale and its family affiliated companies, it's time for a change. Amen. In its proposal, Valkyrie said it wants to facilitate GBTC redemptions at net asset value for investors through a regulation and filing. It also proposes to lower the fees to 75 basis points as opposed to the current 200 basis points and to offer redemption in both Bitcoin and cash. So they're trying to say that they can do this. There's a filing where they can people can redeem their shares for Bitcoin. And if they do that, then that should mean that you should get more Bitcoin than what they're trading at. So like right now it's trading at a 50% discount. So for like if you had like $8,000 or $9,000 worth of Bitcoin, you could get of Grayscale Bitcoin Trust shares, you can get a full Bitcoin and then turn around and trade it for $16,000. So if they do this, I bet you money that the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust will no longer have a discount. Anyway, that's just my thought. What do you think? Let me know. Leave a comment below, and I'm gonna move on. Okay, so I got a little quick update for you all on the last 6-month crypto crash. Hopefully, we're at the tail end of it. Sam Bankman-Fried, FTX, Blockfi, Voyager, and Celsius updates are as follows. SBF pleads not guilty, and he gets to stay out of jail until his court date in October. Yeah. Blockfi has requested to allow withdrawals from the wallet, but not the interest account. So if you weren't using interest accounts or you were smart enough to move it out of interest-bearing accounts during the summer crash, then your money is in a wallet. If you didn't move it off the exchange, then you may be able to get that money. Now, that makes sense because why would my money in my wallet on BlockFi ever be touched? It shouldn't be unless they were doing funny business, but maybe they weren't. I don't know. We'll find out. Celsius, well, you have until January 9th to file your claim, and there was a request to pay back the users whose funds were not mingled with others. So make sure you filed your claim if you had money on there. And last but not least, Voyager may be purchased by Binance. However, the U.S. government is not too keen on Chinese companies purchasing U.S. companies right now. And CZ is the CEO of Binance, and he is Chinese. He has a current headquarters in Singapore, but no permanent headquarters. So I would not be surprised if the U.S. government gets involved, and they already are saying they don't want it, and the SEC has already voiced that they don't want this deal to go through. So anyway, that's the news. Let me know what you all think. I'd love to hear from you. Hopefully we're at the tail end of all this stuff. We got to see if that last shoe will drop. What's going to happen with Genesis, Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, Gemini Earn. How are some of these bankruptcies going to play out? But the bankruptcies playing out is what it is. The real question is, When is inflation going to slow down? When is the Fed going to stop cutting rates? When is our supply chain issues going to ease? And when is the energy crisis going to abate? Some would say it already has in certain ways, and some may say that we haven't even seen it coming yet. What do you think? Let me know. Leave a comment below. I'll talk to y'all later. Hodl on.